Joining me now is Stephen Cook, Senior Fellow for Middle Eastern Studies at the Council on Foreign Relations and the author of the book, The End of Ambition, America's Past, Present, and Future in the Middle East. I want to thank you for being with us. You know, Netanyahu took the rhetorical lead, as we have heard in the last couple days, calling the ICC and its accusations the height of hypocrisy. You know, many Israelis are united behind him in feeling that way. You argue that the ICC's move may actually embolden Israel, especially when it comes to what's going on in Rafah right now. How so?
Yeah, it seems clear that Netanyahu and the Israeli people are united on this issue in believing that the ICC prosecutors' request for warrants is unjust and unfair. And creates a false equivalence between the leaders, the democratically elected leaders of Israel, as well as Hamas. And the danger here is that now Netanyahu has more support. There already was significant support for a Rafah operation, but if he and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, who's also named in this request for warrants, believe, and Israelis believe, they have nothing much to lose, because no matter what they do to protect themselves, they will be criticized and even potentially hauled before the International Criminal Court. There's a likelihood that they will go very big in Rafah.
I want to get to your book's title, right? It's direct. It says the end of America's ambition to find the elusive peace in the Middle East. What do you make of the Biden administration's moves to try and broker that peace, including, crucially, the fact that it would include Saudi Arabia, right? Because, in fact, to your words, that would be ambitious.
Yeah, I think that the effort to wrap a American-Saudi security deal around a normalization deal between Israel and Saudi Arabia is too much. It is too ambitious. Right now, the best thing for the United States to do is to separate those issues. And if there truly is an important argument to be made about a security pact with Saudi Arabia, the president and his advisors should make it to the Congress, which will have to sign off on such a deal. Now is not the time. The Saudis' price, the American price for normalization between Israel and Saudi Arabia is just something that the Israelis are unwilling to pay right now. And that is, in the words of the American administration, a credible, time-limited path towards a Palestinian state. It's something that 2/3 of Israelis reject at the moment. It also sounds a lot like the Oslo Accords going back to the 1990s, which failed. So it seems to me that the United States should approach this in a different way, and more straightforward way, and look for a bilateral agreement with Saudi Arabia and the United States over security. And then in the future, when a time is ripe, if it ever is ripe, look for a Saudi-Israeli deal.
I want to get back to the issue of Netanyahu and Israeli politics, but just quickly on that point, do you believe the Biden administration will still push for that more ambitious plan, or do you think they will abandon it soon?
Oh, no, I think that they are. I think that a lot of the leaks, a lot of the news stories are intended to put pressure on Netanyahu. Here would be this extraordinary achievement, something that he had aimed for, a normalization deal between Israel and Saudi Arabia. But now the price is different than it was prior to October 7th. Now the price is something that he cannot possibly do.
And going back to Netanyahu and the fact that before the ICC, he was facing a lot of internal political pressure that still exists. Do you see an outline for an end game for Netanyahu here?
No, I think that Netanyahu has been consistent in his vision, such that it is, of the day after in Gaza, which is no Palestinian state, no reinvigorated Palestinian Authority, and overall Israeli security control of the Gaza Strip. I think that that's also something that has significant political support in Israel. I think his ideas about Gazans taking over the administration of the area are unlikely to be successful. So to the extent that he has a vision, has an end game, it is one that is based on those three propositions: no Palestinian state, no Palestinian Authority, and overall security control. Beyond that, there really isn't much. And I'm afraid it sets Israel up for a continued, at least, military control and forever war in the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, grim prospects indeed for everyone involved. Stephen Cook, we will leave it there for now. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.